Hey guys, what is going on? It's another big night on Smackdown as the Blue brand holds the first round of its tournament to determine the #1 contenders for the Smackdown Tag Team Championship. That's not all, as Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns signed the contract for their title match at Royal Rumble. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the 20th January edition of the Blue brand, as well as all the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know, including more cuts in the WWE, another big name appearing at Raw 30, and more. As always, we won't recap the matches, but look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. The good. Acknowledging Jay Briscoe's passing. It was good to hear Michael Cole acknowledge the passing of Jay Briscoe, another reminder that things are still different in the WWE, even as Vince lurks in the wings. Firefly Funhouse returns. Speaking of nostalgia, Bray Wyatt fans had to enjoy seeing their friends from the Firefly Funhouse as Bray Wyatt used the seemingly innocent setting to deliver a chilling warning to LA Knight. Something very bad is coming for LA Knight, and as far as Wyatt is concerned, the WWE's arrogant heel only has himself to blame. Whether it's the return of The Fiend or something even more horrific, this segment had to spark the WWE Universe's curiosity about the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, even if no one has the foggiest idea what it involves. More Bloodline drama. Fans can't get enough of the Bloodline drama, and tonight's show delivered again as fans got to see the Tribal Chief and his Tribal Council working to deal with their new problem, Sami Zayn. While it's hard to believe that Roman Reigns has just realized what a pain in the ass Zayn is, the Tribal Council Paul Heyman's words of advice seemed to resonate with Reigns. In case you missed it, Heyman told Roman that there were two ways to deal with Zayn, posing the rhetorical question, would you rather have Zayn in the castle pissing outside or outside the castle pissing inside? Judging from tonight's events, it looks like Roman is keeping Sami in the castle, at least for now. A refreshing change of pace. Tonight's tag team tournament was a refreshing change of pace as WWE featured the first round matches, giving fans a good idea of where teams stand in the WWE food chain. For example, the Banger Brothers and Imperium had to fight hard to defeat their respective opponents, the Viking Raiders and the Brawling Brutes. On the other hand, Hit Row and Legado del Fantasma made short work of their respective opponents, Los Lotharios and Maximum Male Models. Some good Rumble rants. Smackdown had a lot going on tonight, but WWE still found some time for some short promos to hype wrestlers' Royal Rumble appearances. Braun Strowman delivered an excellent promo, with the WWE reminding fans of Braun winning the greatest Royal Rumble, and the Monster Among Monsters declaring that he's the Rumble's real deal. Incredibly, even Shayna Baszler cut a good promo, asking wrestlers how they'd compete with a broken ankle or how they'd throw an opponent over the top rope with a dislocated shoulder. This played to the Queen of Spades' strengths and was the first time in a long time that Shayna said something worth listening to. While Raquel Rodriguez's promo wasn't the stuff of legend, it was good to see her as she should be a favorite in the women's event. A banger feud. The WWE needs to book the Banger Brothers versus the Viking Raiders in an epic feud. Wrestlelamia mentioned this before, but tonight's match suggests the two powerhouse teams could have a long feud. Throw in stipulation matches and fans could be entertained all the way into SummerSlam. Karrion Kross promo. Another great promo from Karrion Kross and the usual sultry stares from Scarlett. Kross isn't the type of wrestler who needs to work cinematic matches, but the nature of his character make his promos all the better when WWE adds cinematic effects to them, as it did tonight. Kross's upcoming match with Mysterio could give fans an idea about how versatile Karrion is as a performer, as he'll have his hands full keeping up with Rey. Owens KOs the Bloodline. KO turned the contract signing into complete chaos, dismantling the Bloodline and making it look like he can beat Roman Reigns. As much as Wrestlelamia would like to see KO come out on top against Reigns, it's extremely unlikely the head of the table is going into WrestleMania without a world championship. Nevertheless, the WWE has built KO up as someone crafty and tough enough to deal with the Bloodline all by himself, creating the illusion that Roman's reign is nearly over. The bad. Sonya Deville. What's the point? If you're having problems with Sonya Deville, you probably shouldn't be women's champion. Wrestlelamia could understand Charlotte Flair dealing with Deville for one match after she regained the SmackDown Women's Championship, but Deville is not a credible challenger. This is another example of the WWE putting a new champion into a lackluster and boring program, much as the WWE did when Ronda Rousey had to wrestle Liv Morgan ad nauseum. If the WWE wants to get fans to turn on Flair, this is a great start. Cody Rhodes hype video. Enough already. Tonight's Cody Rhodes video was unnecessary and seemed designed to fill time rather than promote Cody's return. Frankly, if you don't know the American Nightmare story by now, then the WWE has clearly done something wrong. The only good thing about these videos is that they should be over by the Royal Rumble, although Wrestlelamia has a feeling we'll see them on the pre-show and even at the Rumble. The Downright Ugly. Nothing ugly about tonight's SmackDown. The Blue brand delivered from start to finish, anchoring the show with a highly entertaining tag team tournament and ending things with a wild contract signing segment. WWE making more cuts. Topping today's news is a report concerning more exits at the WWE. It looks like WWE is making more cuts to its staff, at least according to a recent report from Fightful Select. WWE has confirmed to Fightful Select that they're doing office cuts right now. There's a strong case to be made that the WWE is making sure it has a staff in place that is loyal to Vince McMahon. News reports of board members loyal to McMahon replacing others, as well as multiple board member resignations, not to mention the sudden resignation of Stephanie McMahon as co-CEO, suggests the WWE is returning to an environment where Vince is surrounded by yes men and women. There are plenty of changes being made to the WWE, and fans should expect to see more as Vince McMahon settles back into control. There will likely even be more cuts, including wrestlers, if the WWE is sold, but those will be made by the new owner unless the new owner decides to keep Vince around and puts him in charge of the company chopping block. One question that hasn't been asked is how Mr. McMahon will fare if the WWE is sold and the new owner agrees to put him in charge of the WWE's creative department. While Vinnie Mac may be able to persuade a prospective buyer that he's the best choice for the job, the dynamic will likely change, as Vince will go from answering to himself to answering for someone else. Given McMahon's ego and eccentricities, both of which are well documented, it'll be interesting to see how long he will last working for someone else, especially if business declines and he has to accept responsibility. Tony Khan worked hard to bring in the Briscoes to AEW. Why didn't Tony Khan do more to bring in the Briscoes to AEW? That's the question some fans are asking, especially after they tuned into the 18th January Dynamite and saw a very limited mention of Jay Briscoe's passing. As mentioned earlier this week, AEW broadcast partner Warner Bros. Discovery has maintained a policy of keeping the Briscoes off TV due to comments Jay Briscoe posted on social media years ago. However, that doesn't mean Tony didn't try to get the Briscoes in front of AEW fans. According to Dave Meltzer, this past year there were many attempts to get them on the show. They were actually flown in a few times to television, but they weren't allowed to be used. There were plans for them on the 9/4 All Out show in Chicago to be in a 6-man tag with FTR and Wardlow versus the Briscoes and Jay Lethal. But without being able to promote it on television, and because the broadcast partners didn't want them on AEW broadcasts, the decision was made to bring the Motor City Machine Guns in out of nowhere to team with Lethal. Obviously, there's only so much that Khan could do, as AEW's future revolves around a TV rights deal. Another big name added to Raw 30. The guest list for Raw's 30-year anniversary spectacular continues to grow. The WWE recently announced that Hulk Hogan will be at the show, and now WWE Hall of Famer Lita will be at the show, at least according to PW Insider's Mike Johnson. Johnson noted Lita is also scheduled to be filming material for A&E next week. No word on what the A&E content involves. One name who continues to be mentioned is The Rock. Some fans believe the WWE will kick off a program between The Rock and Roman Reigns this Monday when the Bloodline hold an acknowledgement ceremony. The WWE and The Rock have been keeping things under wrap as to The Rock's ability to perform at this year's WrestleMania, but if he is wrestling, expect the WWE to kickstart things soon, either at Raw 30 or at the Royal Rumble. Well guys, there you have it, WrestleLamia's look at the 20th January edition of SmackDown, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know in wrestling. Be sure to leave your comments and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.